Come on. We have to start the video, Gav. Good boy.
All right, welcome to VLOGMAS Day 8. Your girl's been consistent so far. All right, today we are talking about some budget tips for the holidays if you are single and if you don't have kids. While these budget tips can be applicable, even if you do have kids or if you are married, there is a bit of a notion or a stereotype, I think, that holidays are really expensive if you have a family, particularly if you have a big family. I do think that's true. And I think they're also expensive if you're single. I think the holidays are just expensive in general. I had this in one of my other videos where the holidays have really kind of morphed into a lot of consumerism, as well as all these really significant expectations that we put on people. This is a video about what are some ways in which you can take care of your finances this holiday season. Of course, though, Gavin and I are heading to Starbucks, so you will not see cutting out Starbucks as one of these tips. We also won't be cutting out treats for Gavin, so don't worry about that. Yeah, of course not. It's so pretty out today. It's like that really deep, like blue-gray on the mountains with the sun reflecting the snow. It is, this won't do it justice. It's so pretty. All right, I went with the venti iced latte today. It's not super cold out, so I feel like I was pretty safe with that. All right, my first tip for how to save money for the holidays is pare down who you're buying for. Buying for all the adults and all the kids in the family can be expensive, particularly when you're doing that on a single income. One of the things that I do is if there is an adult that is part of a couple, so now we're talking about two adults, I buy one gift for the both of them. And I usually do something edible. One of my go-tos is chocolate covered strawberries because most people like those, and it's not something that people are buying for themselves often, and it's a fun little treat around the holiday. Another option around this is maybe you decide, you know what, I'm just buying for the kids. I'm not buying for the adults this year. And these are healthy, appropriate boundaries, particularly if that list that you have to buy for just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. Which brings me to gifts. So when you do have the list of who you have decided you are going to buy for, identify a budget, identify an upper limit that you're going to spend, and then stick to it. If you feel like you need to add something else to the gift because you've bought something that's already at your max, try something that you can either make or that's like a baked good. Maybe you add some cookies to it. Maybe you make your own chocolate covered strawberries and add those to it. Or maybe you offer up some of your time versus spending money on something. I think the kind of classic one here is maybe offering to babysit. I don't do that because I don't like babysitting. It has really nothing to do with the fact that I don't have kids. I just don't like to do that. But maybe you agree to watch their dog for the weekend or house sit for them. You know, maybe there is something different that fits with something that you like. You don't have to offer to do something that you don't like to do because your time is valuable. It doesn't have to be doing something that you don't like in order for it to be a meaningful gift or a meaningful way to give out your time. The next one is remind yourself it's okay to say no to the gift exchanges. Work does gift exchanges, sometimes neighborhoods do gift exchanges, friend groups do gift exchanges. The amount of things that you could theoretically show up for where you kind of it could bring a gift are endless. I also find that most people feel the same way about that stuff. So consider having a conversation ahead of time and being like, hey, I know everybody's really busy around these holidays. I know the holidays can get expensive for everybody. What do you guys say if we just cut out the gift giving this year? Most people feel appreciative of that. They just have that anxiety and they don't want to bring it up. You might be the one that's gutsy enough to bring it up and everybody else is like, oh my God, thank God she brought that up. I'm so glad somebody said that. The next one is, it's okay to say no. Whether you're saying no to an event, a party, a gift exchange, or even travel. I know particularly for those of us who are single and don't have kids, sometimes the expectation is that we're the ones traveling. I understand how the logic of that can kind of form, but it doesn't make it right. Travel can be especially expensive. And if you don't want to go, it's okay to say no. If you do want to go, it's also okay to say yes, but then let people know it's going to impact your budget in other areas. So maybe the travel plus the gifts, it turns into being outside of your comfort zone for the amount of money that you've set aside to budget for the holiday. So maybe you decide, I'm going to travel, but it will be in lieu of gifts. This could be an area where instead of bringing gifts, maybe it's, hey, I'll make chocolate covered strawberries for the appetizers for the day, or I'll bake cinnamon for the breakfast of the day. You can tell that I really like chocolate covered strawberries because I think I brought them up like 3 times in this video. All right, the last thing to keep in mind in order to keep a manageable holiday budget is a little bit of decor goes a long way. Now, if you love holiday decor, buy it, but just wait to buy it after the holidays and save it for the next year. So those are my practical, realistic tips for managing your budget and saving a little bit of money around the holidays. If you have some tips that I missed, let me know in the comments below. And if you are single and you are childless, not by choice, consider subscribing to Sounder Sisterhood. We're building a community here. And if you are single and or childless, not by choice, sometimes knowing that you're not alone and that other people in the world are experiencing some of the same things you're experiencing can be really helpful, particularly if it's a matter of, you know what, I'm having a down moment, I'm gonna throw a video on. Our channel is about the grief, it's about the coping, but it's also about reinventing your future, reimagining your future, considering new dreams that you have for yourself, and recognizing that you're not alone in it and your life can be meaningful, purposeful, and fun, even if your path looks a lot different than you thought it would be. So subscribe to Sounder Sisterhood and check out other videos for the single and childless, not by choice person. The little clickety click is Gavin roaming around in the background. There he goes.